God, I wish I was a ninja. I went and saw not Cobra Kai, Karate Kid. We'll talk about that in a minute. For this show, we're going to break format today, just like Matlock did in the Abduction, because format is out the window for this episode of Matlock. And John, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, man?
I couldn't be any better right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this episode for various different reasons. I know that you always like to tell us about what you have recently viewed. So let's as you said, let's get right into it. What have you been watching, man, that you want to tell us about? Because I know you're excited to tell us about this movie.
First off, Daniel, buddy, where you been? You weren't on Three Geeks chat yesterday. We missed you. But besides that, I went and saw Karate Kid Legends, and I had a lot of fun watching the movie. So I don't want to give too much of the review because I'm going to post it later. But the back half of the movie is definitely rushed, and you could tell they only had Ralph Macchio for like a small amount of time because this was filming the same time as they were filming Cobra Kai. So Ralph Macchio isn't in a lot of the movie, which is fine. Like, he doesn't need to be there. But the parts that he's in do feel rushed. But other than that, it was still a fun movie. It's more, Jackie Chan, his student story, than anybody else's. And Joshua Jackson was really good in it as well, which I haven't seen Joshua Jackson on the big screen in a long time, probably since I saw Mighty Ducks.
Well, he, I think, was got very good reviews for Dr. Death, which was that show on Hulu, if I remember correctly, where he was the doctor that may or may not have actually had the credentials to be doing what he was doing, which he was fantastic as in that. And that, I think, was like a 6-episode or maybe 8-episode season, but it was real good. But you're right. He hasn't been doing a lot that I'm aware of, both on screen and big screen, small screen.
No, he went from Dawson's Creek. He did Fringe for 5 years, which was really good. He was really good on that. He's doing that. Now he's doing the new Doctor show on NBC, I think. I haven't seen it yet. Or ABC. It's on ABC. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard good things, but it was nice seeing him on the big screen. Okay. And he plays the young kid, Lee's love interest father, who's an ex-boxer. It is a good movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. Like I said, my only gripes is, Ralph Macchio obviously had other things going on. You can tell that he was kind of rushed through some of his story, but like I said, it was still a good movie. I think the trailer should have been less misleading and making you think that, Ralph Macchio is in this entire movie, because he's not. He's in a small portion at the end. But overall, it was good. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5.
By the way, Joshua Jackson's new show is Dr. Odyssey.
Dr. Odyssey.
Which apparently is good because everybody's raving about it. I'm not really interested in it, but everyone says it's fantastic. It's got twists and turns and everything. But so there you go. I looked it up while you were spinning your yarn there. Hey, we got a couple of messages, so let's go to those real quick. Daniel Snow saying, "Hey man, what's going on?" So basically, Ralph Macchio was in the new Karate Kid as much as Emilio Estevez was in D3, The Mighty Ducks.
He was in more. He was probably in 20 minutes of the 90-minute movie. I think maybe 30. I think Emilio Estevez was in like 6 minutes of D3. Long enough to pass them off to another coach and then show back up to help them get out of trouble.
Thank you, because I was going to say, I've seen all the Mighty Duck movies, but it's been forever since I've watched them. So thank you for clarifying what exactly happens there. So cool. What am I watching? Well, I've watched a lot of stuff, and
now we're out of time. Just kidding.
That's what I want to avoid. So you know what I'll go with? I'll go with just 2 out of the many that I've watched here. They're both movies. I went to the theater this week to see Thunderbolts. Good, solid superhero movie. This is what I tell everybody. I did not want to get another movie where we spend 20 minutes on backstories of these characters and then all of a sudden have to hurry it up and throw in a big fight, and it doesn't make sense in that. They did not do that. They gave you small little 1 minute flashback things, and that was enough. And they still kept the story moving, and the plot is not really twisty and turn. It's pretty straightforward, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I wish it was more along the lines of the Thunderbolts from the Marvel comics, because I think that those characters are more interesting than the ones in the movie. But nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. So I'll go with that. And the other one I'll go with, and I just watched it last night. It's another movie on Tubi, because Max from the Three Geeks podcast thinks that I have some type of like contract with Tubi because I watch a lot on Tubi, but I do.
He does.
Because it's free, man. It's free
Tubi
stuff.
was made for John. John, I love you, but John's one of the cheapest guys I know.
Yeah,
and Tubi's free. And I can't hate on Tubi because Tubi has a lot of stuff on it.
They do. They have all kinds of oddball horror that I know was right up your alley. Well, anyways, the movie I watched was called Crazy Joe. It stars Peter Boyle from Everybody Loves Raymond. He was the old father, the grandfather in that show. It also stars Fred Williamson, who's been in a ton of blaxploitation movies in the 70s. Henry Winkler was in it. And the little person from Fantasy Island. What's his name? Verve something. But we all know who it is. Deplane, boss. That guy is in it. And it's a biopic kind of Joe Gallo, who was a real mobster in New York City. And he was known for fits of violent rage because supposedly, from what I read, he was an undiagnosed schizophrenic. And so other mobsters were just completely shocked at times when he would fly off the handle and just murder somebody for no good reason. And so it was really good. Peter Boyle was very, very well done. And I think it came out in 1972 or 1974. But either one, really good. And I will just throw it out there that Peter Boyle is also spectacular in another mob movie called The Friends of Eddie Coyle. Definitely got to check that out too. I don't know if it's on Tubi or not. I'm sure Jason's looking it up to see if it's on Tubi so he can make fun of me.
I am not looking it up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay, good. So we got another, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. The Friends of Eddie Coyle. I'm looking it up right now because I want to know if it's on. Where's the screen?
It is, man. Tubi is no joke. They just added, I just said this on Three Geeks last night, but it's worth mentioning here. They just added the original Ninja Turtles cartoon, which I have every intention of going back. And why John does what he's doing. I also watched Ginny and Georgia, and I did it with my co-host Jamie, and it was one of the best experiences I've had. I'm not going to get into the reviews of the show because they're going to be posted ad nauseum on the Three Geeks YouTube channel. But the experience of doing it. So Jamie and I, since she's out of town today and we couldn't get together to do a big review, we're going to review every episode. And what we're going to do is at the end of her review, she's going to kick it to me. So it's been one of the most fun and I don't know what the right word is, but it's been like a high just to turn it out and edit it together and then post it and then turn another one out, edit it and post it. It was definitely a unique way to watch a show, to literally stop, record a review, edit the reviews together once I got hers, and then watch the next episode and so on and so forth. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. I can't wait to release the rest. And I even got an editing compliment from Justin. And then Justin turns around and then just reinvents the whole editing thing on Three Geeks after I did that. So thanks, Justin. Made me look bad again, but it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
The Friends of Eddie Coyle is on Pluto for free, but not Tubi. And by the way, it's got Robert Mitchum in it too, so it's a class act. So, all right, we have some comments. I have delayed there. Justin, can we get those comments up here on the screen? Let's see. Daniel, what a swerve, bro! Last night at Money in the Bank. I believe it or not, Daniel, I still have to watch it. I totally forgot that it was on last night, as well as the AAA pay-per-view. And this morning when I woke up, I'm like, a friend sent me a message that just said, "Told you so." And I'm like, "Told me so what?" And then I started looking at social media. So I need to sit down and watch it. That's my plan for later tonight. I'm fixing to start The Sopranos season 4. Wait a minute. What about Homicide: Life on the Streets? Are you still watching that?
He wanted to take a minute.
Okay.
John, just wanted to take a minute.
Yeah, how do you say the name, Daniel? Hervé Villechaize? Villa.
Well, John struggles through that name. I do want to plug some things because that's what we do. First off, if you're watching us right now, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, follow, all the fun stuff. Mattalk podcast, which I haven't checked in on the Mattalk YouTube channel in a long time. We kind of just post there and then don't ever look at it again. And to find out, the videos are doing decent over there. So, yeah, we're going to start promoting the Mattalk YouTube channel because it's doing good on its own. So we'll see what it does if we actually pay attention to it. But check out Jamie and I. We'll be back next Sunday at 7. We finished Yellow Jackets, Elizabeth, and you need to tune in for that because we will be talking about it and how that show makes me hungry.
All right. You know what? We have, in all honesty, we've slacked a little bit on hyping up Mattalk. We have. I'm guilty of that. But I'm glad that numbers are doing well. And I'm ready to discuss this new episode if you are, man.
I am, man. I don't know if we should just do our normal thing because Matlock does not do his normal thing. And that's, guys, Matlock goes to a strip club in this episode. Just.
All right. Well, with that, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into our opening statement. The name of this episode is The Abduction, and the original air date was March 6th, 1992. We have a couple of guest stars to talk about, one of which is one of the ladies at said strip club. And the actress's name is Sharon Farrell. She plays the role of Rose Ballou. You may also know her as Mrs. Mancini in the movie Can't Buy Me Love. Doris Belmont in The Night of the Comet. She also played Molly in Lone Wolf McQuade. She played the role of Lenore in It's Alive. She also played Florence Webster on The Young and the Restless. Laurie Wilson on Hawaii Five-0, the original, not the reboot. She also played Flo Quick in The Last Ride of the Dalton Gang. She also played Pat Morrissey on the new Perry Mason, which is very interesting because I totally forgot about this. It's the reboot from the 1970s in which Raymond Burr does not have anything involved with it. The original cast is not in it. It's all, and it only lasted a year too, if I recall correctly, a year, maybe 2 years, but that was it. So I totally forgot about that 70s reboot.
I did not, because it shows up on a lot of our guest stars, but I don't know, man. That reboot that HBO did, it was pretty solid a few years ago. I don't know about the 70s reboot, but that one was great.
Well, can I ask you about a horror movie that Sharon was in? It's Alive. Have you watched this? Are you familiar with this tale?
I have not seen It's Alive.
Okay. Are you familiar with?
I am familiar with it. I have not seen it. I remember when I was younger, I thought it was had to do with it because one of the pictures is like a sewer drain and it shows like a claw coming out of it, but it doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay. All right. Our next guest star is Jim Haney, I believe it's pronounced. He will be playing the role of Captain Chris Lewis. You may also know him as Ben in the United States of Leland, which is an underrated movie, by the way, starring Don Cheadle and Ryan Gosling. I saw it in the theater. It was really good. It's a drama about a younger man in his 20s dealing with like life in general. It's really good. But I digress. I got off the track here. Jim Haney is also known for playing Lemuel Briggs on Justified, the Dockmaster in The Fog, Bill Stone in Bulworth, Richard Johnson in The Bridges of Madison County, Morty Morton in Action Jackson, Garrett Gordon on Dallas, and about another 80 other credits to his name. Jim certainly was working hard back in the day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in some Clint Eastwood movies. He was in The Fog, which is a very underrated horror movie from the 80s. Sleepwalker, Stephen King. He was in a couple of the old white guy meets hip hop movies. He was in Bringing Down the House and Bulworth.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the hype for Bulworth at the time that it came out. It was a big deal. Yeah, the soundtrack was great, absolutely. But the movie, I had no desire to see the movie.
I saw the movie. I don't remember liking the movie, but I know a lot of people talk about how great the movie is. Maybe I should revisit it. But the soundtrack features a pre-Fergie Black Eyed Peas when they were way better.
And I agree with that because I saw the Black Eyed Peas pre-Fergie live in concert. It's part of the Smoke and Grooves tour.
Me too. Which one were you at? We were both there. I was at the one with Public Enemy in Cypress Hill.
Public Enemy, Cypress Hill, Gang Starr, Maya, Wyclef Jean, the Black Eyed Peas, and I think there was somebody else. Yeah, I was there at the Polaris Amphitheater to see it.
Oh my God, I was there, man. We were there together.
Oh man, this is amazing.
Busta Rhymes was there too, right?
Who?
Busta Rhymes was there too.
Yeah,
right?
Busta Rhymes was the other one I forgot about. Yes. So it was a great show. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I met Professor Griff at that show.
You met Professor Griff?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
I wish I still had the autograph, but man, that's cool. We were both there.
That is sweet.
Small world.
Yeah. All right. Our last guest star is Kenneth Kimmins. He will be playing the role of Harry Travis. Now, he's already been on an episode of Matlock. He played the role of Bob King in season 3, episode 10 of The Black Widow. Now, you all will remember this episode, I guarantee it. Even if you may not remember the name and the title, this was the one where the guy in the first 10 minutes went to jail for 7 years for killing his wife. He gets out of jail, he goes to this random business, and his wife is there. Do you remember this one? And they had this ongoing thing of, well, if she's not, and then she ends up dead. And then that guy, well, you killed her because you didn't get the job done the first time around. It was a wacky one. It was an amazing one from season 3.
I don't remember it.
That doesn't ring a bell?
No, we have to do Mattalk rewatch.
No, we may have to. Anyways, you may also know him as W.T. Jennings on the TV show Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You may know him as Mr. Walker on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Oh my God, such a good show.
You may also know him as Dr. Klein on Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. D.A. Thatcher on Perry Mason, The Case of the Reckless Romeo. He was also the Doctor on Beauty and the Beast. He was Thornton McLeish on Dallas. Howard on Coach. And he was, of course, the associate producer, and not in reality. That was the character's name, on the movie Network. And if anybody has not seen Network, it takes place in a TV studio. So that's why he is known as the associate producer. And by the way, I got to give props. Network is an amazing movie that if you haven't seen, you need to see.
It's probably on Tubi, guys.
I don't know. Why don't you look that up and let me know?
I think it is, actually. I'm not looking it up.
Oh, okay. All right. So I like how you challenge me and then you're like, nah, never mind. I'm not doing that.
You forgot to say that he was in Police Academy 6 Under Siege, which is probably my favorite Police Academy movie, because I think it's the first one I saw, because Comedy Central played that movie so much.
I think they played all of them a lot, if I remember.
6. Oh my God, 6 was always on.
What was 6? Because I don't know if I've seen it.
The 3 bumbling thieves
that
keep robbing banks and stuff.
No, I'm not familiar with this. All right, hold on for a moment. I'm having technical difficulties because my cat is now in here and just tugging on all the wires, and I'm like, stop it.
His cat. Finally called it his cat. He keeps saying he's babysitting his girlfriend's cat, but that's not the case anymore, is it, John?
No, it's not. It's now I'm now a cat dad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
for a wedding that Justin and I weren't invited to.
Well, I'm sorry. Again, it was a small service, which we haven't. Yeah, we didn't tell anybody, I guess, because it is news that yours truly got hitched a few weeks ago to my girlfriend of 5 years. So, and it's a long story why we decided to get married now, and as opposed to later on. But all right, with that, enough out of the way. Lady is the name of the cat, and she's driving me crazy right now. All right, well, you know what? With that, Jason, it's time for me to ask you that question. The question that is so important to everybody listening and watching this episode.
Yes, John, I will marry you. We can go to Utah. It's fine.
Utah?
Yeah, that's where polygamy, right?
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I think Utah would not really... Never mind. Let's not go down that road. Anyways, let's go on, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to testify! All right, ladies and gentlemen, the plot of the episode is pretty straightforward. Michelle gets kidnapped by the mob, and Ben and Conrad try to save her. I think it would have
too far into it, John. Let's catch up on the comments first.
All right, we have a few comments. All right, let's go ahead. And I watch generally 2 series at once, one with the lady, one on my own. I think she liked Homicide now, so it's gotten me into it. I've gotten into, so I'm pausing it until after the spring. Okay, that makes sense. Daniel. Lone Wolf McQuaid is probably Chuck Norris's best. Really? I got to be honest. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it either. Sidekicks is probably my favorite Chuck Norris movie.
I was going to say Invasion USA is probably one of my favorites. And I bet that was a great concert. I was not there. LOL. Boy, if you were there, that would have been straight crazy. Oh snap! John's internet is fixing to go down. No, it's just this cat. If I could keep lady from underneath the desk, everything will be fine.
No, Elizabeth, congratulations to you and your husband.
That's right. Congratulations to you, Elizabeth. So glad to hear the news, and so all the best to you and your husband. So. Man, it's a night of new things happening here.
It is. Welcome to the cult, Elizabeth. Welcome to the cult.
So anyways, here's my question. If Michelle's kidnapped by the mob, can't we just get the Punisher to take care of this and the episode would be over in 15 minutes?
Right? The whole episode. I watched it twice. The whole episode, I'm just waiting for them to work in a court something into this episode. I was waiting. Where's it coming from? Where's the court?
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. Our opening scene. We get a little bit of traffic. I'm hoping that it's not Atlanta, but
California. Atlanta's not traffic. You're joking.
Well, and then we see a skyline, and then we see a shoreline, then we see a fancy house. And I actually was confused for a few minutes. I'm like, where are they at? Because Atlanta's is landlocked, so. Eventually, though, it comes to fruition as to where we are at. We're introduced to Harry, and Harry is told to leave by his boss as his boss enters his own home with 2 goons, and his name is Jay Cutler. And this is before he played for the Broncos. This is way before that. I think he was still probably with the Chicago Bears. I'm not sure, but. Okay, I'll stop with all the football jokes because nobody's getting them and reacting to them, so never mind.
You should know your audience, John. I don't get it, but I'm sure Daniel and Liz love your football jokes.
How about this? How about, Jay, his boss, wanted to know more about his ex-wife, Kristen Cavallari.
Yeah, Justin's laughing his ass off in the little camera down below.
Okay.
You just don't see it.
All right, let's get another comment from Dan. Hopefully he enjoyed my Jay Cutler NFL reference.
Nope, I don't think he got it.
My brother actually converted to LDS when he got married, and he swears that they've disavowed polygamy. I believe that as much as I believe Ben hates hot dogs. LOL. Anyways, all right, but no, Jay Cutler is the villain's name. He asked Harry to leave because Harry had picked up a fax and he was reading it. Jay came in with his 2 goons. He was like, hit the bricks. And this is where Harry starts getting like wicked bent out of shape about, look, I can't know about the illegal stuff you are doing. I can't, if I'm your lawyer, I can't do it. Yada, yada,
yada.
After,
just don't tell me before. I can't defend you if I know about it before. It's like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart idea. I mean, most definitely.
I want goons. How do we get goons? Is there like a goons for hire? I think we've had this conversation before, but I really want to know.
I mean, I would love to have some goons to do my bidding. I mean,
goonsforhire.com. Okay, you continue. I want to see if this is a website.
Don't sign up for anything you'll regret. Anyways, Harry does leave, and the other mobster goons are kind of worried about Harry's loyalty. Harry ends up going to, by the way, a kind of a conference for attorneys, of which Ben and Michelle are there. Michelle has allergies. She's allergic to California, apparently, which literally comes up only one other time in this episode, and we'll talk about that when it comes. Dan has comments about the NFL. Let's hear him. I get the football jokes, LOL, a Las Vegas Raiders fan for life. And then Jason claims that the Mormons don't have the internet. I don't know.
You don't say everything out loud, John.
But that's so funny. I was sharing it. Anyways, I've lost my place in my notes. Oh yeah. So Ben and Michelle are chatting with this other attorney at the seminar, the conference, whatnot. And as I said, Michelle has allergies, and Harry shows up. And Harry knows Ben. They went to law school together.
Ben went to law school with everybody. England, this guy.
Yeah, everybody. I'd like to meet somebody that hasn't gone to law school with Matlock in one of these episodes. Anyways, Harry pulls Ben aside and is like, hey, I need your help. I need your advice. And Ben's like, no, I know what you're going to ask me. You're going to ask me something about who you represent, and I want nothing to do with it. And Harry's like, no, you don't understand, man. It's big time, and you're the only guy I can trust. So Ben says, meet me in the parking garage in 10 minutes. Yeah, not like
doom.
You're done, man. You're done, Harry.
Oh, Harry.
So Harry is funneled into, like, he was going to leave, but one of the goons is there. So he turns around. He walks past Ben. He drops a matchbook in Ben's pocket and then heads out to the garage. And guess what? When you're in the garage, there's an awful lot of weapons just sitting there for you to use to kill a man, called automobiles. And indeed, that is what happens. He is run down by one of the goons of Jay Cutler.
Didn't even look like he was going that fast.
Yeah, I know. It kind of, the way they filmed it was kind of cheesy. I didn't dig it. I think they could have done a better job.
Yeah.
But maybe a stunt person, maybe that costs more money than just, we'll film it this way that we filmed it. Anyways, so Harry is dead. And Ben comes out to the parking garage where, you know, there's all this police presence and an ambulance and everything. And Ben fills in the cop, which I believe his name was Hardin. And I immediately wrote down, is this Hardin guy on the take? Because he just seemed like he was the type of dude that was on the take. What did you think?
One of the cops was on the take. I just don't remember which one.
Well, Hardin was the sergeant that had like the bald. He was balding here.
Yeah, he had this haircut.
Kind of, yeah. But then he hands him off to just a lonely patrolman. And so as Michelle tells Ben, I got to go to the doctors. I got to get rid of these allergies. She walks to the rental car. And what do you know? She's kidnapped by goons in the easiest way ever. Literally stopped at a red light. A goon gets out of his car, opens her car door, and gets in her car and pulls a gun.
And Goons for Hire is not a website.
Good.
It did take me to a video game, though.
What?
I Google searched it, and it took me to a video game.
Oh, okay. Does anybody lock their car doors in LA? I mean, we know nobody locks their front door in Atlanta. We know that. That's
in the 90s, early 90s.
Dude, I think in the early 90s that would be the prime time in LA to make sure your doors are locked, because that's the height of the gang warfare that was going on there. I mean, at least that's what I heard from Ice-T and those. By the way, side note, this has nothing to do with hardly anyone that's watching this, but I can't believe I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show. Did you see Ice-T is coming to town?
No.
Yeah, Ice-T is coming to town for a concert at the one of the, I can't remember if it's the King of Clubs or if this is the Ace of Cups. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, he's coming sometime in the middle of July.
July 12th at Bush Boulevard. That's right by my house.
Okay, so he's at the King of Clubs.
Yeah, as Justin said, sponsored by Lipton.
Yeah, well,
he's coming with Schoolie D too.
Nah, there you go.
Nice. Okay. Anyway, sorry guys.
Anyways, sorry folks. Sorry about that. We'll get back to the episode here. So Ben is giving a statement, and then he's told he has a phone call. And as he picks up the receiver, there's a goon who's threatening Ben, and he's saying, "Look, bad things are going to happen to Michelle unless you follow our rules." So Ben never finishes the statement. In fact, the cop starts chatting with Hardin about Ben finishing his his statement. He's like, I don't know what happened to him. He went and take a phone call and he disappeared. So then Hardin is chatting with Captain Lewis. And again, they're kind of all puzzled. Both the Hardin and Lewis are both puzzled by the disappearance of Ben. And Ben, meanwhile, in our next scene, is on the phone with Conrad. And Conrad's like, look, why don't you just get the cops involved? And Ben's like, you don't understand. I think they'll really do something bad to Michelle. So I need your help. You're booked on the midnight flight out here. Come on out here.
If Ben is so concerned about Michelle, why does he do everything they tell him not to do?
Great point. Thank you very much. Yes.
I mean, I get it. I do the same thing.
I know. All right. Ben gets another call from the goons, and Ben demands to hear from Michelle. So she gets to say hello, and that's it. And they talked about a matchbook that Ben has. And so basically, Ben pulls it out and reads off what the information is on it, which is Rose Ballou, and it's like 5 p.m., and I forget what else is listed on it. So Ben agrees that he's going to meet these guys at the time of 5 p.m. Now, here's our little bit of comedy. We're going to see this a couple of times. Before we go to Dan's comment, room service shows up. And Ben is mistaken as a Hollywood bigwig because the waiter starts pitching his ideas. And Ben's like, yeah, I'm just an ordinary dude. But guess what?
I just sleep in my suit. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Here's my tip. A dime.
Dime. I'd have taken the food back.
Dude, it's 1992. It's not 1962, man. A dime ain't buying you nothing.
Sorry, the second time he gets a better tip.
No, yeah, he does. Let's see what Daniel has to say here real quick.
He better for the price that he's charging for tickets.
Is he bringing...
How could he better be there?
Okay, my mom gets Ice Cube mixed up with Ice T all the time, which is almost impossible. Haha. Then again, she didn't know who Princess Diana was until she passed away. Parents,
but I was like 12, 10.
Parents sometimes they don't get it. They don't get it.
Parents just don't understand.
Thank you, Will Smith. Or are you DJ Jazzy Jeff?
Both.
Well, you're one in the
That's
same.
Another thing, man. We gotta have more conversations outside of work, outside of the podcast, because Jazzy Jeff was just in town and nobody told me.
I didn't know he was in town.
Yeah.
Huh. Just by himself?
No, he was with people.
Okay.
I don't remember who.
Okay. All right. Anyways, getting back to it. The cops show up at the motel, and that cop, of course, is Hardin. And Ben refuses his help. He's like, look, I'm good. I got this. Everything is A-okay. And then we go to Ben showing up at Conrad's hotel. And here's our first little bit of sizzle to this episode. Did you see how jacked Conrad was? And he was shirtless. I'm like, why are you answering the door shirtless, dude?
Because he wanted to flaunt it.
I have a theory that I guarantee that was not written that way. And he's like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it shirtless. I've put in all the work to get the physique. I'm showing it off. I bet there was an argument about that between the producers and him, and he won, and rightfully so.
He's like, I'm getting tired of being called the nerdy guy from Die Hard.
That's right. He wanted to show it off. Yeah. I mean, hey, I can't blame him. I would do the same. So Ben and Conrad discuss the matchbook, and Ben kind of has a moment of clarity where he says something about how he doesn't tell people how much they mean to him or how much he appreciates him. And so he said, I really do appreciate what you guys do. So Ben is going to go off to see Jay Cutler.
And Ben has balls.
He does. And
mob boss. Conrad's like, a mob boss isn't just going to let you in his living room. Well, sure enough.
Yeah, sure enough, he did. And I think those drinks sound gross. Even though Ben said that they were tasty, I think they would be gross.
Ben didn't even finish his.
Well, because to be honest with you, I have a feeling it was just Gatorade, because we are talking about a professional athlete here, Jay Cutler, who, oh, my bad. So Ben shares his theory that he thinks Harry was killed. And there's a lot of tension. This is actually a really good scene, I think. there's quite a bit of tension between Ben and Jay, which I thought again was fantastic. Ben is then hit with this little offer. I'm going to need a new attorney, says Jay. What about it, man? And Ben turns him down. All right. Then our next scene, Conrad visits a fortune teller. And Conrad and the madam, as she's called, they argue about her sign, which I thought was kind of funny. Conrad needs information on her sister. And Rose, Ballou, is who Conrad's looking for. And so this madam says, I can tell you where you can find her, but she's a stripper. So Conrad is waiting for Ben outside of a club with the classy name of Body Heat. I really was glued to the TV for this episode, for this part of the episode. There's the cover charge to the doorman and a little bit more. And then we get naive Ben. Oh naive my
Ben.
God.
No, we get Ben who can't stop staring.
Well, because he's never seen this type of stuff before. His mind.
But he's been in an episode with a stripper before.
And a prostitute, actually.
Yeah, he just can't stop staring at the ladies on stage.
Hey, well, I'm sure.
Conrad's like, Ben, over here. She's over here, Ben.
Well, anyways, this young lady claims that she knows Jay Butler, not Jay Cutler. And she flirts kind of with both the guys, and then Ben is drug off because, well, you know, he can't stop looking at boobs. Mm-hmm. As Ben enters his hotel room, he realizes that there is a threat that is on the mirror in lipstick, classic 80s trope, and just basically saying, you better watch yourself or else Michelle's going to get it. So, does he listen to that? No, he doesn't, because in the next scene, he gets room service again. And this time, Ben's watch is broken. And this time, he leaves the waiter with a quarter for his tip. I wish I could have given a quarter last night when we went out to dinner, myself and my wife, but no, I didn't, because I know better. That should Ben Matlock. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm going to start tipping quarters.
Well, you know what you do? You get them a roll of quarters. So you're like, look, you get in trouble in the back alley of the restaurant. You just roll them up and boom. You give them the old loaded fist, if you know what I'm saying.
1 quarter.
1 quarter. Or put this in the sock you don't have. That's right. Snoogans. Justin, do we have any other comments from Dan real quick? I thought that maybe we had one. Conrad has been using the total... Jason, you can read that one. Oh,
I'm concerned about you. Should I call somebody?
No. These allergies have bothered me a little bit these last couple days, but that was damn funny. I didn't anticipate that one. Daniel, bravo, sir. Golf clap for you. The total gem. Anyways, so Ben goes to get his watch fixed, and he finds out that there's a place called Rose and Ballou Interchange. It's a crossroads is basically what it is. So Ben goes down to the lobby, but Hardin's down there watching him. So basically, in order for Ben to slip out undetected, he bribes the waiter to run interference for him. So Ben arrives at a house on the corner of Rose and Ballou, and he sees it, and he decides that he's going to get some intel. All right. But before we get to that, there's a really creepy scene where one of the goons is like putting the moves on a tied up Michelle. That was kind of creepy. Meanwhile, the other guy, which I kind of thought that the other guy was going to be like slap him in the head and be like, hey man, leave her alone. All right. Or something, like he was going to be the more moral
goon. No moral goons.
Well, maybe that was where the line was for him, was like, look, I ain't going to mess around with, with no woman.
Goons don't believe in morals.
I don't
That's
know.
why they're goons.
Well, if there's any goons out there that want to let us know about your moral compass, you can
email us, benmattalk@gmail.com. I'd love it. Just
or
put
you,
goon in the subject line.
there you go. Put goon in the subject line. And you can also check us out on Facebook, of course, at Mattalk Podcast. So Ben rings the doorbell, and he kind of plays a little bit of like I'm lost. I'm an old man. I don't know what I'm doing. And he manages to force his way inside. And it's there that he sees the rental key to the car of Michelle's. So he is then thrown out of the house. And right here, I thought to myself, I thought that we would go down this route. While the goon was talking to Ben, Conrad would come from behind and sucker punch him, and then they'd go and rescue Michelle. That's what I thought this was going to go, but it didn't. It actually didn't go. It went in the total opposite way, where across the street from the house, Ben meets up with Conrad, and he says, "Look, Michelle's in there. I know she's in there." So they go to the cops, and the cops are going to do a bust. They're going to, keep tabs on everybody's places. And they do a raid. Nobody there. Nobody at the house. Nobody at any of these other businesses. No one. And so, Ben IDs one of the goons that he saw. I apologize, folks, for the coughs. I'm muting myself. My allergies are just... they're killing me. And I know I made fun of Michelle for having allergies, but they ain't no joke for sure. Anyways, one of the things that the cops and Ben talk about is that there's a bookie named Doug Pinter, or he was a bookkeeper, not a bookie, excuse me. And Jay had him work for him, and so he's flipped on him, and he was going to, at 4:00, he was going to testify against Jay Cutler. All right. And Ben is still upset that they're not doing enough to rescue Michelle, but they calm him down and said, "Look, we take care of this real quick. This, keeping Doug alive, then everything else will fall into place." Hardin has Doug dress up like a cop, and he gets him in the car. He's in the car, and there's a cop in the back, of which Hardin pulls out a gun with a silencer and shoots the good guy cop, killing him. And so basically, he makes Doug hide the body, and he goes, "I'm going to get you out of here." So that means we're going to drive to this building. We're going to get up on the helipad, and the helicopter is going to come and pick us up. Meanwhile, at the police headquarters, Captain Lewis and Ben are reviewing what steps they're going to take. Ben says, Conrad says that he believes somebody tipped off Jay. This time, Ben's so mad he smashes his watch, which I didn't understand what that was all about. What about you? Was it just to show that he was angry?
Yeah.
Because it really didn't.
Ben.
Yeah. Well, then he gets a Band-Aid from Commander or Captain Lewis, and it's one of those little circled ones. He's like, "You can't use this, right?" Like, he's like, "I need one that goes around the wound." But then he remembers where he saw somebody with one of those on. And that would have been one of the goons at the house. And supposedly Hardin has one as well. And he was saying that he was going to go out of town. So, i.e., they're hinting at the fact that they're all going to Mexico or somewhere where malaria is a big problem. So, Hardin actually turns out to be the inside guy, which we already knew that. And Hardin and Doug are waiting on the rooftop for the helicopter. The cops show up. Hardin puts his guns on him, and they shoot him dead. So then we cut to a scene in police headquarters where Doug spills the beans. And he was like, "Look, I was supposed to be the guy that set up this business over in the Philippines. And so Doug did that. He was going to supposedly set everything up, and then he was supposed to go with the three big guys, in other words, in terms of the organization, the three main guys, to the Philippines to help make this business happen. So Ben puts the heat on Doug, Jay sees the news report about Doug, quote, escaping, because he does show up at his house. And Doug meets Jay. And of course, what has Jay got? He's got a wire on him. Here's where I laughed out loud. Michelle sneezes. She sneezes. Like one of the goons opens the door that she's in, and she sneezes, and then he shuts the door. And Ben's like, "That's her sneeze." What are you?
You don't know how your friends sneeze, John?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't pay that much attention to you all. Sorry about that.
Wow. I know Justin would know my sneeze from anywhere.
Well, why don't you bust one out right now?
I can't sneeze right now.
You can't sneeze on command. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, Ben, he doesn't get to go because he's told to stay put, but they're going to raid the house. Ben sneaks out anyways. And the best part is when Ben is trying to lift himself up over that wall and can't do it. And that gave me a chuckle. I enjoyed that. Captain Lewis serves a warrant to Jay. They're there to search for Michelle. I thoroughly was impressed by this. Ben KO's a brother. He double axe handles one of them and knocks him cold. I like that. I want to see more of that in subsequent episodes, by the way. So Ben is in the house, and this is where I was confused because I did not know who was the villain that had the gun to Michelle. It was alluded to that it was one of the cops, but I'm like, who? It wasn't Lewis, and it wasn't Hardin, was it? Because Hardin was already dead.
I don't think so.
So this was confusing because there is, as I said, Michelle's held with a gun to her head. That cop, I don't know who it is. It was just some random cop. He turns while holding Michelle hostage, and at the last minute, Captain Lewis comes from the other corner and shoots the bad guy. And so Michelle is saved, and that concludes the abduction. All right. Jason, do you have anything you would like to talk about real quick before we get into our wrap-up?
No, John. I want to make sure you can go get yourself some water and relax. So let's get right into it.
All right. With that then, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our closing statement.
This is the part of the podcast where John and I will rate the show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means 5 gavels means we loved it, and negative 30 gavels means we're going to become cops and then going to turn ourselves over to organized crime and make a lot more money. So, John, where do you rate this episode?
I give it 3.5 gavels. I like the plot. I thought the plot was good. I like that we had a little more focus on Michelle than we have had in the past.
Kind of.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing. Like, we always talk about it. Michelle Thomas is an attractive woman. I'm surprised that this hasn't happened prior to, like, in an earlier season. It just kind of seems like a no-brainer episode to do. The negatives. Where was Conrad at the end of the episode?
They didn't have enough money to pay him. He was off shooting Walker.
Because I'm like, where is he at? Why is he not involved in this bum rush of the house?
Because the cops told him to stay home, and he knew to stay home.
So I thought the confusing villains at the end, Michelle's sneeze, and the lack of Conrad at the end, because Conrad's supposed to be the guy that kicks butt and takes names, and he wasn't there. So those are my negatives. So I think 3.5 is a good rating.
I'll agree with you. So first off, they killed the lawyer. There's no way they're not going to kill Ben and Michelle at the beginning of this episode and just save themselves time. But we have no show and no further shows either if they do that. So with that pushed aside, I enjoyed the episode. I said I watched it twice. If you guys are my friends, don't worry. I know your sneeze. If you're in trouble, I will hear it and I will come rescue you. John is just not on the level of friend that I am. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to John's wife and all future John's children. He just won't know your sneeze. There's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, as far as this episode goes, it was good. I mean, it was fine. I have no real qualms with it other than some of the things John said. I did miss the courtroom scene because that's why I watched this show.
Yeah.
But the next episode looks like a doozy, so I'm sure it'll make up for that.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, Let's talk about our other podcasting projects. So, what's happened to the Three Geeks podcast, man?
We are live Saturday at 7 p.m. We'll be live this Saturday at 7. Jamie and I will be back doing our show next Sunday, talking Ginny and Georgia. Elizabeth, we're going to be talking Yellow Jackets. I really hope that you're in the comments section for that. And I am really digging that podcast. I think Jamie and I are going to go weekly. That's coming very, very soon. We're trying to work out a time. We're working with John because that means it'll go either before or after this show on the weeks that Mattalk is. So we're just trying to work out logistics. But thanks, everybody, for your support. It's been overwhelming. Three Geeks is doing really well, and we're very happy and humbled.
Yeah, and awesome for you guys. And, you know, things in here, Mattalk are going well. PVD Cast, my own podcasting project's going well as well. Too. No, it's going well. Never mind. Anyways, I can't figure out what I want to say. I'm trying to fit this in before I cough again or sneeze. Anyways, also, okay. Thank you, Justin. The PVD Cast is also going well. Thank you. Oh, that's why you're the best producer in the biz. Anyways, yeah, check it out over at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. And with that, Jason, shall we wrap things up here?
We shall, everybody.
As they say in
court.
Wait, no, that's my line.
Well,
as they say in court.
Nothing further.